Is this what our schools are teaching us? To be on time to class, to not talk back to a teacher that doesn't even know my name, so instead, he calls me by my last name so that it's a bit more convenient for him to not blur out because this school bell is so loud our teachers won't even hear our voices. Is this what our schools are teaching us? Is studying for a test when you know you're not going to pass anyways? Oh no, Mr. Muhammad, this system isn't designed for you to fail. But it's not designed for me to succeed either. Like I'm in the middle of two lanes going backwards. What happens when students are car accidents and teachers are the standby witnesses that don't say anything? 1.2 million students are dropping out of high schools annually. And what happens when every 22 seconds a high school dropout becomes a street smart graduate? In this generation, getting a gun is easier than getting capped and gowned. Isn't it funny how we can't blame a teacher if the student doesn't understand? But they can't blame the student if the teacher isn't teaching the curriculum correctly. The system is so messed up. Honestly, it fails itself when the people who are preparing you for a high school education aren't the ones who stand in front of whiteboards. The system cares more about the equipment that's being invested into some of our schools rather than the lessons that are being invested into some of our children. This is teaching our youth that money is more important than a good education. Teachers, do you teach your students the same lessons you would teach your children to use your voice as firm and as loud as possible, only if it's that towards the adult in the room? This is exactly what happens when bad teaching and bad parenting go hand in hand, when schools are no longer a place to learn, but a place to sleep. These schools aren't so much of a school as they are a foster home with many problems and no solutions. I know that this education system is as rough and grimy as some of the streets some students have to walk on to get here, to get to a class, to a teacher that's gonna cut them absent before the bell even rings yet, to a school that feels like quicksand. Like the deeper you go, the more it suffocates our lungs and swallows our minds whole.